Today is December 13th. This is a review of the trade that I made on Costco. Now, I've waited until being preoccupied with other trades, and I looked at the trend that was being established. And having been a green day, despite the fact that it is trending down, there was a possibility that the stock would be retracing, or after a dip, it would rip. So under that premise, I waited to a point here at about 8:45 a.m. And when I looked at the trend here, I was eagerly anticipating that the stock would actually start to rip. Then it dropped a little bit and sat around where the low point of the day was, essentially being right here, right there. Then it started to climb back up, and it dipped a little bit here with a long series based on a 1 minute candle. And so this was still a viable thesis. Then, based on the VWAP, usually when the candles are sitting below the VWAP, it's a bearish day. That means that the initial high volume that caused the average to be up is declining because the volume is declining and the price is declining. But if the volume is increasing with the same price, that means it's going to start to climb, even with the same price. Essentially, that's what it means. The price of the stock will go, the VWAP will start to go up if there is an increase in volume and an increase in price. But if the volume increases with the same price, then it is going to tend to move down based on its angle, based on its slope. Essentially, that's what VWAP tells me. The VWAP is telling me, so I'm analyzing what the VWAP is doing, and the VWAP is essentially showing a picture where the price is declining, and if the price is declining with a smaller volume, that means that it's going to still keep going down. But if the price is increasing with a smaller volume, it means that the average will start to go back up. Okay. So essentially what VWAP is telling me at this stage is that the volume is decreasing. See that? The volume is decreasing as well. And so it is actually, the price is actually, okay, so even if the price is increasing here, the volume is low. See, the price is increasing here. So if I look at here, that's the VWAP, volume weighted average price. So even with the prices going up here, it is still coming down. Because even with this price, the volume is small such that it is not impacting VWAP. Anyway, so essentially I was in here. As soon as I crossed this point, I should have sold, not bought here, as that was a bad entry right here on the second purchase, which seems to be a familiar story here. If I had the discipline, I would not have bought that. In fact, that would have been the point where I would have sold. Here to here is the range of areas where I would have sold the stock. So how do I make that happen? How do I make myself sell this from here to here? How do I make it? How do I make it so that the trade that I make from here can be sold from this point to this point when it starts to drop? That is the magical question. That is, even if it, that means that even if the stock drops and then comes back up, I'm already out and suffered a minimum amount of loss because I would have already exited, and my mental capital would not have to suffer through all this ranging uh, the trade for the day. So getting out here is essentially at the lowest point right here. That's where I got out of these two trades with essentially the maximum amount of loss. So if I look at the total days transaction, what happened was even if I bought it here at this point, I would have recovered the first portion of the transaction that I made. And then here, so essentially, even if I just held it with a single one here, I would have absorbed all this and then have recovered to this point. So I need to discover how the VWAP is used to figure out how to trade. And if it's in a downtrend like this, maybe I shouldn't be adding at that point. Maybe